What up, Raider Nation? I'm Mike,
And this is Will.
and welcome to Raider Radio.
And congratulations, Raider Nation, on our first
You know,
W.
it's you, all you.
Yeah. I want to personally thank my mom, my dog.
I'd like to thank your mom too. So, what week one in the books? What are your general impressions on the team after seeing the final product on the field after training camp?
Okay. So without going into the individual players, just because I want to save that, but general impressions about the team is any week where you come out victorious and you have I guess technically 6 rookie starters once Trayvon Mullen came onto the field.
Mm-hmm.
Compete and win is a humongous monumental victory beyond just the standings.
Yeah.
Because several rookies got onto the field yesterday and showed that they belong.
And performed, yeah.
Performed
They
well.
contributed to the victory,
Got
absolutely.
game experience. Everybody got better yesterday.
Yeah.
And we won.
Mm-hmm.
So in my eyes, there could not have been a better way that game could have unfolded.
Oh yeah, no, sitting here 24 hours later, I feel really good about it. Like it just, by no means was it a perfect game, but I think it was a game that you have to feel good about as a Raider fan, especially with all, elephant in the room. Antonio, it came out. We showed we don't need Antonio Brown. We've got some weapons on offense, enough to score points against what probably shapes up to be a pretty good defense.
Well, the big thing was, how does his subtraction affect us, better or worse, considering all the drama of the offseason? And it turns out it didn't.
No, dude. Well, he was never at practice, apparently. So the team already was cohesive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you hear the interview? One of the interviews, or one of the points that Derek Carr made
after the game.
This was not like losing Khalil Mack.
It's completely different.
And that's
completely
from the
different.
horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Like Derek Carr himself is telling the leader of the locker room, saying, "We did not feel the loss of Antonio Brown the way we felt the loss of Khalil Mack."
Different. That's like a brother in the trenches with
He's
you.
your
You know what I
teammate.
mean? Yeah.
He was actually your teammate.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown never had the opportunity.
They used to play pool basketball together. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I doubt AB ever went over Derek Carr's house and did that.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a better bonding experience than pool basketball.
No, two guys, skinny dipping, maybe.
Yeah.
It depends how many beers I've had. And
Naked, alley-ooping on each other.
Just men doing men stuff,
teabagging.
as far as I'm concerned.
So, the Antonio Brown thing didn't affect our team.
No. Although I do want to throw out there, I was so fucking happy to hear those chants, like, fuck AB. It brought the team together. It's kind of like, that's like how World War II started, you know what I mean? Like, You got, one person, and it brings people together that they hate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck Franz Ferdinand.
Exactly, that's World War I, but not gonna... Who's counting?
But, in some ways, it almost feels like Antonio Brown's antics in this offseason, it almost helped us, because we've been practicing with this team.
Solidarity.
But they've been practicing together all offseason.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown's never been there. They've been preparing with the guys that they've had this entire time. So when the first thing that I saw was chemistry, way further along than you normally would be week one. Mm-hmm. It seemed like there was no miscues on the routes. There wasn't Carr throwing to an empty spot in the field because the wide receiver went left when he should have went right.
People knew where they were supposed to be. Yeah,
we saw a lot of mental errors last year.
Yeah,
week one.
Yeah,
close to no mental errors in this game.
A pretty well-oiled machine, a tight ship.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited about what we saw from this team, from a bunch of rookies, a bunch of young kids. They look like they have far more experience than one game.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't look like rookies, Josh Jacobs, but that should bring us to our next point. Let me ask you, is there one player specifically that really got your gears going last night, that really lubed up your fleshlight?
Lubed up my fleshlight. That the first... I think that the player that has to stand out to everybody first and foremost is going to be Derek Carr.
MVP. Calling it now.
I don't know.
Hot take.
I don't know about that, but I would say that he's already he's already building a very good resume for comeback player of the year. Because I would dare to say that Derek Carr, that we know
and love
had not recovered from his injury yet. He had not recovered from that back injury. He had not recovered from the place that he went in his mind as a quarterback, especially through a coaching change and everything like that. Now he's back. This is Derek Carr's comeback campaign.
Dude, I feel like, he was always there, and I feel like it's like, this is what I've been trying to tell people. Like, he's an MVP candidate. He can be when he's playing at the top.
You sound like a fucking Jim Jones drinking.
I'm fucking.
No one believed me.
I'm bathing in Kool-Aid right now. Cyanide laced Kool-Aid. But how many incompletions did he throw last night? Like 4? He was like,
he had like 120 quarterback rating. I mean, he was near perfect.
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but he was like 22 or 26, somewhere around that.
But also me being the hard ass that I am, I really don't give a fuck about stats. And so specifically the things that stood out to me for Derek Carr last night were because last year, for all intents, he had a very good stat year.
Yeah.
He had one of the best quarterback ratings in the league. He had over 4,000 yards, but we didn't win games.
In real life, it was a different kind of tale. Of the tape.
Yeah. If you only watched the box score, you wouldn't really know what Derek Carr was playing like last year. But
he didn't have an offense around him though either.
Derek Carr is the single biggest reason on the entire team that we won last night.
Oh, dude, he's
He was back to being that 2016 Derek Carr.
Yeah, dude.
Without him, you lose.
I'd say a low tier 1 quarterback. Like, that's his ceiling, and he can play up to that this year.
And the individual things that he did that completely changed my perception on him and think that maybe that guy is still there is, first and foremost, his pocket presence was otherworldly in comparison to last year. He pulled the trigger on the one play and scrambled for 4 yards and slid down.
He actually ran. I was actually surprised to see him do that. I was like, oh God.
Are you kidding me? My pants got so tight.
And they're like normally tight anyway. So
yeah, exactly. Extra schmeedy. But so seeing him pull the trigger and run after going through his progressions rather than just folding like he was in the past, you could definitely tell that Gruden has been hammering it into his head that we need a mobile quarterback. He's been telling Carr all year, Nathan Peterman's doing this. Can you do that? Can you run like that? We saw it right in the Hard Knocks. And then on that one crucial third down play near the goal line where he sidestepped the pass rusher and threw that pass to Hunter Renfrow, who
first and Renfrow.
Holy fuck!
Oh, dude,
you gotta watch. Everybody should go back and rewatch that catch that Hunter Renfrow made.
That reminded me of that catch that we put in our, not to like do a self shout out here, but the in our highlight or our breakdown video of him
where he steals it from the ground.
Yeah, he's so low to the ground, his hands pick it up from the ground. Yeah, it was reminiscent of that.
But basically, what Hunter Renfrow has a really good ability to do is he almost steals the ball from the ground where he'll get underneath it and it almost looks like the ball hits the ground, but he just kind of...
He's got those hands.
He gives like a landing pad for it.
Nice little thin hands.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but in that video I said don't draft him in fantasy football and I think I'm right.
He only had one catch.
Yeah, exactly. He only had one catch, but he had one of the most important catches of the game.
Agreed, yeah.
And that's what Hunter Renfrow is going to provide for you. But so the fact that Derek Carr was moving in the pocket and making passes and rushing and scrambling for yards, to start off with, that was the first most promising thing that I saw from him last night.
But I just want to throw this out there. He actually has a number 1 target now. He's been without a number 1 target, since maybe, I don't even count Cooper from last year. But I like this Tyrell Williams dude. I really like him. I liked him when we got him, and I'm higher on him now. How many? It was arguably that pass, the play action when it was a third down for like a 35-yard pass or whatever. Arguably the turning point of the game, kept the momentum going. Drove down the field and like.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about Tyrell Williams in a minute. But I do want to finish up the Derek Carr conversation, but the Tyrell Williams is still a good point to add. My next thing that Derek Carr really did well is he is in time and in chemistry with all of his wide receivers right now. There's no miscommunications, like we said, and the touch on the deep pass, like that pass to Tyrell Williams, looks like 2016 again. It has that trajectory. In the past couple of years, his balls have been getting a lot of air underneath them.
Yeah.
When he's tossing them downfield, but that's not there anymore. He's throwing it on a rope again. He's got that pretty flight path, and he's hitting his receivers in stride downfield, and that is huge because Derek Carr was the most deadly quarterback down the field in 2016.
Yeah, he's one of the most accurate deep balls in the league. I just think
it wasn't the last couple of years, but for some. I don't know what it was. Maybe he forgot how to do it, and Gruden had to reteach him how to throw that ball. But it looks like he's throwing the deep ball differently.
I don't know. He's still Derek from 2016. That player is still he's still there,
like irreparably to the point that he couldn't throw it anymore.
Nah, dude, I don't
is there something fucked with his motion now because he was throwing ducks downfield?
Well, listen, I mean. But he's probably one of the better quarterbacks in the league with turnovers. He almost broke that record last year for consecutive passes without throwing an interception. He's a smart quarterback. I don't know if he's got the strongest arm in the league, but I think he has the accuracy.
He's got a hell of an arm, man.
Yeah, no, he does. I'm not trying to
his arm strength is one of the few things I can't detract from him.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But what I'm saying is I'm sure there are quarterbacks in the league who can throw the ball farther than him, like fucking scumbag Mahomes or whatever. But
fuck
that guy, the current frog talking motherfucker. But like. Derek, he's probably one of the better decision-making quarterbacks in the league, and he's accurate. So, I mean, like, if you've got those two things, and, fucking Peyton Manning, wrote his career out, like that.
Mm-hmm. So, and I can't think of...
Not that I'm saying Carr's Peyton Manning, but you know what I mean.
He's almost there.
Mm-hmm.
But...
be doing Papa John's commercials in no time.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really too much else. Can you add anything else besides pocket presence... wide receiver chemistry and the deep ball for Derek Carr?
No, I mean, we already went over it, but the one thing that I was surprised to see him actually scramble. And it was only that one time, but outside of that, dude, he played a near perfect game. Like what we needed from him, we got from him. But I want to talk a little bit about the unheralded heroes. How about our fucking offensive line just coming together? Bradley Chubb, Von Miller, were they even playing in the game? I didn't even see. Derek was not touched the entire game. Had time to move around the pocket.
You cannot talk about what Derek Carr did without mentioning the offensive line.
Absolutely.
And that's probably because they were the biggest reason why Derek Carr's play fell off a cliff last year.
Well, after the game, I think John Gruden, the first person he thanked was Colton Miller and
Trent Brown.
Yeah, and Trent Brown. Dude, Colton Miller with that... Okay, so the play where we won the game, where it was it was third down, right? And if we got the first, then, time was going to expire. Colton Miller made this amazing fucking block on the guy as Tyrell Williams went forward, got the third down, only because of Colton Miller came over.
That was the wide receiver, the screen.
Yeah, it was the screen. And Colton Miller came on the cornerback and fucking leveled him. And it was that was the block that won us the game.
And that's why you drafted Colton Miller, because there's not many guys his size that can run there that quickly, get to the point where they got to be in time.
Yeah.
He's fast for a big man.
Yeah.
The two backup guards played amazingly for us.
Derek had a clean jersey the entire game.
And you know what? I saw someone point it out on the internet, but one of the big reasons why Denzel Good and Jordan Devy had even an okay game is because of Rodney Hudson.
Oh, the best center in the league, arguably top three.
When you have a center of that capability playing alongside those two guys and telling them where the pressures are coming from, I think Colton Miller said last year that every single blitz, they looked at every single blitz last year on film, and Rodney Hudson called every single fucking one correctly across 16 games. Every single.
He's
fucking
a smart.
one
He's
step
not
of the
only a
way.
big guy. He's a smart player.
So it makes it so that you can have your backups come in and they're literally being pointed out and told a task to do at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch it, you'll see Rodney Hudson getting these guys in position.
if you know where someone's going to be, it's just your ability against theirs at that point. You know what I mean?
And I saw Jordan Devy get punked a couple of times, specifically in the run game. Denzel Good too. I think he's an average at best guy.
Yeah. Well, we know what these guys are.
But the fact that across the line they kept Carr to 0 sacks on the game, they kept him completely clean.
Yeah.
If you do that,
did their job.
Yeah, Derek
You're gonna win games.
Derek Carr's going to win you games.
Absolutely.
But moving on to the next player that you really wanted to talk about that you skipped like 5 topics of fucking ahead.
I don't care about, I'm fucking, I just let like the wind take me, that's how I live life.
Yeah, no shit. To deal with like 3 unrelated tangents per episode.
I let the alcoholism just take me.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tyrell Williams is now the de facto number 1 wide receiver for the Raiders. Do you feel confident with that going forward?
I mean, well, how many clutch catches? Not even just like good catches, but like clutch catches that he had last night, where he needed to catch the ball, we needed the first down, and he got it. What probably like 100 yards and 1 touchdown, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's where
but I
he's at.
think for the first time since 2017 Coop, we have a real number 1 wide receiver. And arguably, I don't know, like...
Who would you rather have, Tyrell Williams or Amari Cooper?
I was just going to say, like, right now, I mean, given 1 game, right, so that basically means fucking nothing.
Fuck Amari Cooper, I want Tyrell Williams.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it's 1 game.
Well, Amari Cooper...
I've seen so much more from Tyrell Williams, and I'm not trying to say that Amari Cooper never did anything from us. We've seen some pretty fantastic plays.
The dude's talented, right?
Yeah, but a lot of Amari Cooper's yards were him running away from people. He was really fucking fast. But Tyrell Williams he just seems like such a solid all-around player.
Well, like Amari Cooper had the mental lapses, I think, and he gave up on plays, which, you don't want to see in any of your players.
Like one play, Tyrell Williams was up against the number one corner, Chris Harris.
Yeah.
And it was on the right sideline. May have been the 3rd quarter. I can't forget. I'm doing our film breakdown that you guys got to look out for this week. But number 1 cornerback, Chris Harris, with a safety over top, goes up on the post route and fucking catches the ball 15 yards, 20 yards downfield.
Was that the one where he had to reach? We had to reach above his head a little bit?
2 guys draped all over him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the number 1 receiver.
And you know what? Amari Cooper would have dropped the fucking ball.
Yeah,
all right?
Yeah. Tyrell Williams' hands.
If Amari Cooper got open and he was streaking downfield.
Yeah. You still can trust him to catch the ball,
Yeah, you couldn't, but that's what Amari Cooper's game was.
Yeah.
Where Tyrell Williams is a number 1 dude who's going to be like if you got into Amari Cooper's head a little bit, if you played him tight just a little bit, he's a snowflake. He just folded. Where Tyrell Williams was the guy last night.
He was, yeah.
And he performed.
Yeah.
They had a safety coverage over top on him several times throughout the game, and he was always there in position to make the play.
Then he caught the ball.
And the only incompletion thrown to him was that one that Derek Carr threw into double coverage. It was straight down the field. And
I remember that was a bad throw. That was a bad decision by Derek Carr.
Like
probably one of the few bad decisions he made all night.
If he overthrew him with the safety over top, where he probably if he underthrew him a little bit and had Tyrell Williams come back and drive on the ball because he was in front of both of the guys, you could have probably made that catch. But we're also splitting hairs at a near perfect quarterback performance.
Yeah, I mean that was probably, if you want to call that his 1 mistake of the night, I'll fucking take that.
That was
what
probably
I mean?
that was Derek Carr's 1 bad throw of the night. But Tyrell Williams, one thing I wanted to point out is everyone's asking why would the Chargers get rid of Tyrell Williams if he's number 1? Because no one thinks he's the number 1. People still probably don't think he's the number 1 after last night's game.
Well, they're pretty deep because they got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Is Antonio Gates still playing?
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, Melvin Gordon. Count how many numbers.
I don't know about Gordon.
But my point is, count how many first-round picks were on that team.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Tyrell Williams was buried on the depth chart. He was an
agreed.
undrafted guy. Why was he an undrafted guy? He came from a small school and he had injuries. Well, he's been healthy throughout his entire time as a Charger. So scratch that off of his resume, or one of his detractors. And then the other thing is, can he play against NFL level competition?
Apparently.
Yes. Now we know that. He when Keenan Allen went down with the season long ending injury, Tyrell Williams got thrusted into a starting position as an undrafted guy. And he had over 1,000 yards.
He performed
exactly like everyone expected him to, or didn't expect him to. And then when all the first round picks became healthy again, he went back to the bench. So he's just been sitting
buried on a depth chart.
Untapped potential. What do you get in Tyrell Williams? You get a guy who's 6 foot plus, give or take, long arms, runs a 4.43 40. All right, this is a guy with number 1 wide receiver measurables. He can be a top wide receiver in this league. He has hands. He has route running, and he's a damn good blocker too. This guy's the complete package. Is he your Julio Jones? Is he your Odell Beckham? No, but I see no way that this guy is not a perennial 1,000-yard receiver for the Raiders. He's our number 1.
So we're both agree, and I think we have him on a 4-year deal, I think.
I believe so.
Which is pretty good. Yeah. And he's like 26, 28, something like that. So, so we both
agree. We're getting him during his prime.
Yeah, exactly. But we both agree him over Amari, fucking, any day, like 8 days a week.
Hands fucking down.
Absolutely.
I'll even pose it better to you. All right. I'll take Tyrell Williams and Josh Jacobs over Amari Cooper every day.
Absolutely. Dude, I mean, is it just you, or is it just me?
Is it just you?
It's just you.
It's
just did Coop did you I don't know if you ever I just never had confidence in him. Like, he had these flashy plays, and he was good for one highlight reel play kind of every other week or every other 3 weeks, but I never had the confidence going into the game scaring the opposing defense shit, look out for this guy. He never had that gravitas about him.
Gravitas? Is that how you say that word?
Gravitas?
Gravitas. I would say it's the same argument that we made about Derek Carr in the last year or two, in that if you looked at just the box score, you wouldn't really understand the type of player that he is.
Yeah. Box score doesn't give you that plantar fasciitis diagnosis too. Just saying. I mean, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's a reoccurring issue.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And I don't think it's going away.
Not that I'm.
But fuck Amari Cooper. I don't give a shit about him. But he would get 200 yards one game and then get fucking 20 yards for the next 3.
Yeah, disappear for a month. Yeah.
So I'm so happy that we traded him. I'm so happy that we got Josh Jacobs for him, and I'm so happy that we brought in Tyrell Williams.
Sorry, I just got stiff.
Yeah, and that
said Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, and that brings us on to our next offensive skill player that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
All right. Because we saved money with Amari Cooper. We went out and we bought Tyrell Williams, who's our now number 1 wide receiver, who's a better wide receiver than Amari Cooper. Hot take. Book it, Dano. All right? And now fucking Josh...
Who's Dano?
Now fucking Josh Jacobs is now the Raiders' bell cow running back. He went off for over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
My God.
And he's the straw that stirs the Raiders' drink. He's
Man, this is like phone sex is what you're giving me right now.
If Carr is driving the offense, all right, underneath the hood is Josh Jacobs. He's the fucking engine. All right.
He's got a Hemi.
Oh yeah, he's a 6-cylinder.
Dude, okay, I just want to say, I felt, he had an amazing, a great debut. I don't think you could have asked for much more out of him. 2 things. First thing, I always felt in these, short yardage situations, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3 or whatever, it's I felt confident. I said, just give it to Jacobs. Just give it to Jacobs when we got the first down.
He's an impeccable short yardage running back.
Absolutely. Dude, he's bullying people left and right. He's a bulldozer of a human being. But
on one short, and I don't mean to interrupt you. Very quick point, but on one of those short yardage carries, he had two options to run left or right. It's one of those types of runs. Both tackles got beat. Both Colton Miller and Trent Brown got beat. So you had Bradley Chubb and Von Miller disengaging from their block as Josh Jacobs came to the line of scrimmage. He turned right, went through the line as Von Miller's grabbing at his leg and fucking dragged the motherfucker for 3 or 4 yards.
Dude, I liked his vision. You know, like he found the holes and he went through them.
Yeah.
He made, I think there probably very few plays where he made a poor decision as far as like finding where to run.
A lot of those plays too, in my opinion, you can go back and see Jordan Devey or Denzel Good getting blown up.
Yeah, no, probably. You're probably right. But I also just wanted to say what I love too, like in between plays, he's looking at the sidelines and he's got that like feed me kind of thing.
Oh yeah, he was
the
good.
hand
Yeah, he was
motion.
like, yeah,
Come on, bring it on.
I'm hungry.
Bring it
I'm
on.
hungry.
Yeah, you got a hungry boy over here. But no, like that's like what more could you ask for a rookie though? Because with that attitude and the ability, like shit, I don't feel. I was a little nervous about taking a running back in the first round. I mean, I know we had 3 picks or whatever, but like I feel a lot better about it now. Like this is like when was the last time the Raiders had a running back like with this amount of potential or versatility? Who was the last guy? Would you say? Not McFadden, right?
So
he's probably I don't know.
So okay, all right. McFadden was a supremely talented running back that had some fatal flaws as a prospect. Namely, you or I could probably tackle him. If we got close enough, I
could tackle him emotionally.
Yeah, Mike, you could trip on your shoelaces and
I do a lot, honestly, more than a human being should.
Kick up some dirt, and Darren McFadden would fall over. He was very talented, but I would probably say that already. Like Josh Jacobs is looking as good as any running back that we've had since 2002.
Dare I say,
like Charlie Garner,
Marcus Allen.
I mean, he reminds me of Marcus Allen.
Whoa.
He kind of does, dude. I mean, Marcus Allen will play fullback and block. Josh Jacobs does that. Marcus Allen
and he can run routes.
Yeah, Marcus Allen will catch the ball like a receiver and be deadly. Josh Jacobs does that.
Did he have any catches last night? I completely forget.
He had 1 catch for over 20 yards.
Oh, okay.
And so that's kind of Josh Jacobs was exactly who I thought he was, and he's like a short yardage specialist. From 1 to 10 yards on first and second down. I don't think that there's many guys who you can trust to put you into a manageable situation on third down.
Yeah.
And that was one of the storylines of the game for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we were constantly on third and manageable.
Yeah.
And that's because Josh Jacobs will always fall forward for those extra yards.
Mm-hmm.
So
he gets those 2 or 3 extra yards just for bulldozing people.
So he's a short yardage specialist. I don't think that out of the backfield he's going to bust a play open and run down the field because he doesn't have that speed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you throw him the ball in space, good luck.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah,
because cornerbacks are not going to tackle him. All right? Safeties are not going to tackle him. Linebackers are not going to fucking tackle him.
He's a big dude.
Von Miller, he was dragging fucking Von Miller.
Yeah.
All right? So this guy runs routes like a wide receiver and catches like a wide receiver, but he's a power back.
Yeah.
No one can take him down.
Yeah.
So this guy's the complete package. He's the real deal. We've been drinking the Kool-Aid all offseason and trying to tell you guys Josh Jacobs is the guy. He's the future of the Raiders offense.
Turns out that Kool-Aid actually tastes good and it's like good for you.
Oh yeah,
that's
doctor recommend it.
Yeah, I'm trying to make that analogy work. Like it's
it was weak, like most of your analogies, but
good analogies.
But the next skill player,
Darren Waller.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I was reading your mind. I knew it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, he was. We won't miss Jared Cook this year.
I'm probably drinking more Kool-Aid on Darren Waller.
Dude, he was
than
impressive.
Any player.
He was
team.
impressive. Like those hands of his. Like
so.
I need a massage. I'm gonna call Darren Waller over. Yeah, next time I need a massage. Yeah.
Yeah, whip out the Lubriderm.
That's the second time we've mentioned lube on this episode. Half hour into lube. How many will we get to?
Dude, we talked up Tyrell Williams. He's the number one wide receiver. We talked up Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
He's the most complete running back, most talented running back that the Raiders have had in probably over a decade.
Yeah.
Darren Waller, in my opinion, is possibly the most talented player on this roster.
Ooh.
I think that Darren Williams could possibly be the best player on that offense not named Derek Carr.
Getting me a little stiff talking about those George Kittle comps.
I mean, the George Kittle comp is even kind of weak, in my opinion, because what he really compares to, seriously, is a wide receiver.
Yeah, just a big body wide receiver.
So if all you guys don't know too much about Darren Waller, Darren Waller came out of Georgia Tech as a wide receiver. So he wasn't originally a tight end. All right. He's 6'6" and runs a sub 4.5. So he runs in the 4.4s.
Mm-hmm.
He jumps through the fucking through the ceiling, through the roof. I think he's got like a 37-inch vertical, and he's got long ass arms. This guy's real pro comparison's probably Mike Evans.
That's insane.
Like if you put them next together, standing side by side, like Mike Evans might stand an inch taller, but they look similar too.
Their bodies,
in terms of body. This guy is our number one wide receiver, but
he's a tight end.
But yeah, I'm going back and I'm looking at the film, and just because he's got a wide receiver body like Jared Cook. Jared Cook had a year ago, doesn't mean he's just playing wide receiver like Jared Cook did. He's lining up with his hand in the dirt. He's lining up as an H-back in the backfield. He's lining out wide in the slot. He lined up in more positions last night, more different positions, just player positions, than any other player on the field. Gruden's using him as his Swiss Army knife. Anything he needs him to do, he's doing.
Dude, he had those sure hands too. Like when he needed to catch the ball, he caught the ball.
Yeah, it's not like he's just an athletic freak. This guy knows how to fucking play the game.
Yeah.
And this is the Al Davis redemption story that we grew up on.
Yeah, guy, the much maligned, like, throw off Castaway and another team, has some personal problems, comes to the Raiders. We're like a rehabilitation for badasses, you know.
You know, he has his demons.
Mm-hmm.
But when you
good, use those demons.
When you step foot on when you step foot in the Raiders locker room in that building, it's almost like it's the polar opposite of Antonio Brown, but it's like if you could check those demons at the door and prove you love football, you're going to be a Raider for life. And we're going to give you an opportunity that no one else gave you. Like Al Davis, John Gruden told Darren Waller, a failed fourth-round pick from years ago, you come in here, you stay clean, go to your AA meetings, clean up your fucking life, and you're going to be my starting tight end.
That sounds so much like something that sounds like Al Davis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And everybody would probably be thinking like what is he doing? This failure of a dropout player who had 7 catches all of last year, or 6 catches all of last year, 7 catches last night.
Yeah.
All right, so. This is an Al Davis move, and he's channeling the autumn wind on this one because I think that Darren Waller is the best talent on this team right now. And we saw it last night.
He did not disappoint last night.
We saw it last night.
Yeah. No, he was incredible. Again, another player you couldn't have asked for more out of.
Early in the game, there was week 1. I think a lot of Raider fans can probably agree with me on this. Is that there's usually like a holding of the breath for a little bit, where you're waiting for the floor to fall out.
Yeah. I know that feeling all too well. Believe me.
And it's like, all right, they're getting a couple of yards here, and they're looking.
Here's where we fucking
they're looking all right, and there was a certain point where I'm like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like early.
Well, the Broncos made a little bit of I was scared in third quarter because the momentum shifted to them.
Well, I wasn't even worried. I'm talking about first quarter, the very first drive. I'm waiting for us
Too
to
good to be true.
Yeah, do something so silly.
Like stop fooling me.
Yeah, so stupid that makes you like
toying with my heart.
They're bad. They're just the Raiders again.
Yeah.
And then Derek Carr threw that pass to Darren Waller over the shoulder on the left sideline for a huge fucking third down conversion.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
holy
fuck!
Well, we converted those third downs when we needed to. You know, most of the game.
And Darren Waller converted a couple of them. Man.
Yeah.
Like there was some plays where he's lining up as a tight end. He's doing shit that Bill Belichick would use Rob Gronkowski to do.
Yeah.
Where he would line up as a tight end left to the left tackle, chip Bradley Chubb, and then slip out into a naked tight end screen for a fucking third down conversion.
Oh yeah, I remember that play.
And this is these are tight end skills, and this is a converted wide receiver who's a freak of nature, and he's learning the tight end position on the fly, he's doing this.
If you have that ability, you just need to execute. And it looks like this dude's executing so far.
I think he's the real deal, Shaquille O'Neal.
Wow, basketball reference.
And
not for this podcast. That's for our Laker podcast.
This is the guy that everybody should keep their eyes on going forward. We have a number 1 and a number 2. It's Tyrell Williams and Darren Waller,
and then Josh Jacobs.
And you can't tell me that they're not athletic enough. They both run 4.4s. They both jump high as fuck.
Yeah.
And now they're both producing, and they're both competing against NFL level competition, and they're doing it.
Yeah.
So how can these guys? What other excuses are you going to tell me? The rest of the league, the rest of the NFL, the rest of the non-believers, that these guys can't be it, that they can't be they can't be legit.
But I think that's why last night was so special. It was a punch in the teeth of all those people who have doubted us, because all the articles I read, right? So like whatever fucking source, like Bleacher Report or whatever, but it's always like they always reference last year, but what no one actually does the research on, do you understand? Like, there's half the roster has been turned over. This is not the team. This is a completely different team than last year, because
the starters aren't even the same.
Half new, the team has been new human beings, different fucking people,
completely brand new wide receiving.
So the expectations have to go out the window. We have to figure out who we are now, our identity as a team as we go forward, because this is completely new. I gotta take a pee break. Can you give me 30 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much wrapped up all the skill position players. So you want to take a piss, and then we'll hit up the defensive players.
All right, I'm gonna go take the pee.
Let's do it. All right, so.
And we're back.
Had your tinkle?
I went okay. It burned a little bit, but nothing I've never felt before. So.
That's not good.
Should
get that checked out.
In the spirit of that, let's talk about defense.
Okay. All right. So, what was your take on any players stand out?
What was a couple, I guess. But what was the name of the guy who had the 2 sacks?
Benson Mayowa.
Yeah.
Mayowa.
I did not see that coming.
I like him a lot. He was actually a Raider before.
Okay.
And he had.
I don't remember his name.
He had a decent year for us. Right as he kind of hit free agency, but and by decent I mean a couple of sacks.
Yeah.
And he went off to another team and played solid, and we got him back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're always, especially next week, not to jump ahead, but playing Patrick Mahomes, like Flacco, he doesn't move much in the pocket. You know what I mean? So, we're not going to be facing those kinds of quarterbacks all year. But I was impressed. I mean, I was happy to see Farrell get his first sack as a Raider. That was great in his first game.
Yeah, had a nice tipped pass as well.
Yeah.
Killed the drive.
What's his name? Justin Moreau?
Josh Morrow.
Josh Morrow. It's close.
Yeah, I mean, he was
probably
one of the key defensive players.
You want to talk about like hands and stuff, and he knocked down passes, like the rush constantly from him.
He
was impressive.
He was. I'm surprised the Giants don't have many defensive ends, and they let him walk.
No, I was like, oh, the Giants guy,
Yeah. I mean, he played great for us. I thought he was primarily going to be a run stuffer. He had that nice stop on the jet sweep.
Yeah. Smart player. That play did not trick him at all. And that was one of the first plays, I think, too. And I was like, all right, defense, looking better.
This scheme just might work for him because he's also showing some some flashes as a pass rusher. I mean, I think that Arden Key again. The story of Arden Key. I see him flying all over the field, flying all over the field. He just can't get the sack.
Can't finish the play. Yeah,
just can't, I mean, he'll get there, but it's.
Yeah, he's always flying around.
But he's still disruptive, and now he's part of a larger defensive line.
Yeah,
group. He doesn't have to be the guy.
Yeah, let's again like kind of more of the same from him, but let's wait and see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do honestly. Well, I think we both have to say this. The scariest moment of the game, Gary and Conley. I legit was. I mean, I was, sweating.
Bummed out about that one, huh?
Absolutely, dude. That kind of bummed me out for the rest of the game. Because I think we're both big fans of Conley, but apparently, Gruden said everything's a-okay, and he might be. There's a chance he can play next week. Yeah, we'll know more about that tomorrow.
So, from what I understand, with impacts impacts like the one that happened to Conley, where you're kind of like hit on the top of your head or like the top of your neck,
and your neck
but it's compressed.
Compresses, yeah.
So
it looked bad.
Well, it's scary for the player.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they may very well be right, but they actually feel like a tingly numbness from that impact.
Yeah, your spine just got compressed.
Yeah. So even if he's completely fine or whatever, it's just terrifying.
And I can't imagine like looking up into the sky when you're strapped down in that vehicle and like you're getting moved out of the stadium on your way to the hospital.
Yeah,
like that's gonna be terrifying.
Like imagine almost like a falling asleep type of feeling.
Yeah, like the pins and needles sort of.
Yeah, that's kind of thing. That's what I've heard. It kind of feels like, I don't know. I mean, it's never happened to me, but if that's the case, if it's just a stinger, then thank fucking God.
Yeah, no, that was scary.
Yeah,
I think we were all holding our breath last night with that.
Yeah. I mean, and also for me, the defensive secondary is the biggest unknown. Yeah. Going forward.
So it was actually the opposite for me, if I have to like generalize it as far as defense. Like I thought we had more pass rush than I was expecting. Not that Denver has a great offensive line, and again, a quarterback who doesn't really get outside the pocket much, and who actually was like late, I think, on a lot of his reads. But our secondary I thought would be much improved, but it was a little like there's a moment there like when we started giving up like long passes to Sutton in the third and stuff.
They were hanging by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're. Some people were stroking our defense's ego a little bit too much, in my opinion. We played the Denver Broncos. We allowed them to get back into it. We allowed them to get it way too close. Some of that's on John Gruden's play calling.
Yeah.
But the without Conley, this secondary's bad. Daryl Worley had a solid game.
Yeah, I didn't hear much from his side, right? With Emmanuel Sanders. Well, I don't think Emmanuel Sanders had like 2 big catches.
Yeah, but I think those came against Trayvon Mullen.
Oh, okay, never mind.
He had a rough. He had a rough first game. He had a rough start. I will say this: cornerback, hardest position to transition to in the NFL in terms of college to the pros, and he went for broke on one of the plays.
He took that risk where he jumped at it and like yeah.
And so for the most part, what I'm seeing is just a sloppy young guy who's got skills. He's there in terms of when he just has to man cover a guy and he's running with him downfield. He can stick with people, but I just think that he is raw. He just has a little bit of development that he's got to do.
Yeah.
But we need Conley on the field.
I absolutely agree, dude. That would be a huge blow to us if he was out multiple weeks.
Yeah. I think
especially against a week against the Chiefs.
Yeah. Hopefully he's back for the Chiefs. It's gonna be ugly.
Praise for Conley, but
Jonathan Abram, in my opinion, was
he was exactly I thought though what we thought he would be, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I've come to the conclusion that I don't necessarily like his game.
Well, it's kind of like it's got a bar fight kind of vibe to it. You know what I mean? Where he just breaks out in this like improvisational, like relying on your strength kind of thing.
I love physical players. My favorite Raider of all time is Jack Tatum. But you need to be able to impact the game positively.
Yeah.
While being
not
physical.
break the necks of your fellow play.
Whatever.
Your teammates.
It was a fluke.
No, I know. That was a
I
freak.
don't want to shit on him for it. But also, he had the penalty. He also just seemed to me like you don't get style points for hitting a guy hard.
Yeah. He's a hothead, dude. He's gonna have to learn.
I want to see more tackles for loss. I want to see fumbles caused. I want to if you're just hitting guys hard and getting a penalty or two.
That's gonna get old really fast.
Yeah. If you get one personal foul a game, but also one forced fumble a game, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But until you start producing results, I don't have patience for the flags. And that's my problem. Like, did you see the picture of his face mask after the game? He's laughing about it. It's completely deformed.
Oh, he fucked up his face mask?
Yeah, because of how often he's leading with his helmet.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Yeah,
not in this NFL. Man.
Yeah, so I love the physical nature. I love that bulldog mentality, but but
you hurt your team after a while. More than you help.
He's got to start making positive splash plays. Otherwise, play within himself.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I mean.
But you'd agree, though, he was pretty much what we thought he'd be, right? Like, your expectations going into the game?
Yeah. A physical force that made a couple of miscues. I can't remember. I can't remember the play off the top of my head now, but there was one play. I think one of the first big gains that the Broncos made was on one of Jonathan Abrams' assignments. I have to go back and take a look at it.
Oh.
So I wasn't huge on his performance last night. Out of all the rookies, he's probably the most disappointing one to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw Farrell getting he got the sack, obviously.
It's a coverage sack.
Yeah, but we saw him.
It took forever for that play to end.
No, you're right. But we saw
hustle.
him. No, we saw him like consistently throughout the game. I thought I don't know if he was beating his man, but he was at least in the ballpark. And if you're in your first game in the NFL, you know what I mean. And he had that deflection.
Well, I saw that he was on the field for like 70% of our defensive snaps. Just like only like Vontez Burfict and Darryl Worley were higher. Darryl Worley, surprisingly enough, was on every single defensive snap.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was the only
crazy.
He was the only defensive player to do that. So he played a lot. He wasn't a liability in the run game. The Denver's Bronco run game was stifled all game.
It was. Although I'm just going to throw this out there, and I think, this is a topic after this, but like the coaching, the Denver was just not.
They were outclassed.
They were outclassed on both sides of the ball. Let's hold the topic for another 2 minutes. But Perfect, I think, was like
the defensive MVP.
Damn, yeah,
for sure.
Dude,
he was everything that I didn't. I tell you like two or 3 weeks ago.
You did.
All right, there's nothing that I love more than saying like I told you so to Mike. The love and admiration of family and friends means nothing in comparison to being able to tell you I told you so.
Oh yeah, I think that's what you get off the most on. Yeah. It's like,
I know. That's what I get up. I get up in the morning for.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I know.
It butters my toast.
Yeah.
All right.
That toast is pretty buttery right now.
I told you,
slathered in butter.
Vontez Burfict was gonna be the second biggest free agent acquisition, or not even the first biggest, the second biggest player on our team next to Derek Carr is definitely.
Well, he's the captain of the defense now.
He's the quarterback of that.
We didn't even see that much from Joyner. Speaking of captain of defense, but Joyner actually I think got beaten a couple plays. But
yeah, he did. I saw him a couple plays.
Yeah, it wasn't impressive. But Perfect though, I texted you last night while watching the game. What impressed me most was that one play where guys were getting like a little scrum chippy, a little scrum was developing in the field, and Perfect came in like, nope, like this is not happening, and he got like 4 guys and he just like pushed them away or whatever, or like got them away from the little scrum that was happening, and it was like, damn, I don't know if we like I don't know if we've had a leader on defense like that where like cooler heads will prevail. And it sounds contradictory talking about Perfect from what I know, about his time in Cincinnati.
But why is that? Because John Gruden is Al Davis 2.0.
He definitely comes from that. I mean, like we just talked about Waller. He definitely comes from that mindset.
Here you have this guy.
He learned from football, from Al Davis, and about life, not even football.
Vontez Burfict, hothead, can't be controlled, often injured.
Yeah.
All pro linebacker.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have an all-pro linebacker.
No, we certainly do
All right.
not.
So we're going to bring him in.
Yeah. And plus, he knows Gunther, you know what I mean? There's familiarity there with the system.
Yeah, of course. But my point is that you can sit there and say,
makes sense.
this guy's got this wrong with him, that guy's got that wrong with him. But you know what? We got a lot wrong with us too.
Yeah.
It's not like we were necessarily the most competitive team in the league. So why can't you take Vontez Burfict and take a shot on him and let him redeem himself as an Oakland Raider? And he's gonna completely change the complexion of our defense.
So many young guys on the teams, like, you know, rookies especially, having a vet in there who looks like, you know, he just looks like he's a leader, he's a captain, and he's gonna be great for the young guys. And he impressed me a lot last night. I was, you know, obviously you were higher on him than I was, and I will take that. I told you so. And
just say I was right. Say, Will, you were right.
So moving on to the coaching staff, I do want to talk about the coaching staff because I feel like
we you know who we got to give props to, unfortunately. And it's gonna kill us.
I know what you're gonna say.
It's gonna kill you.
I know.
You
but
know,
I thought the same thing.
Tom Cable.
Yes.
He deserves a little bit of credit.
He deserves a lot of credit. He deserves a lot of credit. And it kills me. It kills me. I'm dying on the inside right now.
Two backups and Colton Miller, who had a horrendous rookie season, went out and neutralized one of the better defensive lines in football.
Colton was great. And there's it was floating around Reddit today. There's a play where Bradley Chubb got like ping ponged or like
oh, that was great.
Yeah, or like a pinball game, like where he gets ping ponged between like 4 different guys and gets sandwiched at the end.
Yeah, he gets pancaked.
That was amazing. Yeah.
But so Tom Cable, we still kind of hate you, but you bought yourself a week.
You have 1 week, Tom Cable.
Raider Raidio will give you a 1 week grace period. And we're talking serious business here.
I feel like we're sending him a hostage video. Like, you have 1 week. Send him an ultimatum.
No, for real. He did a good job.
Nah, the line, you couldn't have asked for more from the line. The line was great, you know.
Gruden's play calling, I think at sometimes it's masterful. Situational game planning or play calling, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm getting a little buzzed here. But towards the end of the game, with time being an issue, I think that he mismanaged that game.
Yeah, that's the only. If I had to criticize the one thing, like they went for the field goal, too conservative with the play calling because we let them. They weren't out of the game. I would have, and we were staring at the goal line. You know, I'd be a little bit more aggressive. That was the one thing. They capitulated for the field goal, and I didn't like that. That's the one.
Yeah, but then you have the guys. Raider Radio, Mike and Will. He won the game, so look at you talking shit. All right, but the biggest game or the biggest black mark on John Gruden's career as an Oakland Raider is another game where he mismanaged the time situation, which was the AFC Championship game against the Patriots way back again. No, it's the same exact situation.
Bring that
in
shitty memory
the
up again.
third and fourth quarter of the game, where you have a lead and you start playing. No, I'm still
not over that game.
No,
can we not talk about it?
But that's why it bothers me when I'm seeing that. God. It's like, dude, you didn't learn. It's fucking 15 years later. You still didn't fucking learn. This is not the way you're supposed to be calling the game.
We won the game. All right, chill out.
Listen, if I'm going to compliment Tom Cable, I can shit on whoever I want.
I'm going to be the head coach someday.
I am. All right.
Calling yourself a little GM over here.
No, it pissed me off. But in all seriousness, John Gruden. He's dialed into this
going
roster.
Up against a defensive mastermind. I think Vic Fangio is probably one of the best top 3 defensive minds in the game today.
Meh.
Oh, fuck you, dude. No, dude. I think
he's overrated.
Dude, what he did with that Bears defense, I mean, he had talent, but the dude's good at his job. Don't take that away from him. I think their offense.
I don't know. He made the Broncos defense look pretty mediocre.
Well, maybe our offense is better. How about that? Why can't you just fucking accept that?
I just don't want you to make a point.
Fuck. This is why we'll never be best friends. But like, Denver's offense looked pretty shitty last night, just because I think they had the the 49ers quarterbacks coach from last year, I think is their offensive coordinator.
Yikes, that was not a good offense.
Not a good. Yeah, no. John Elway making another bad decision. Weird.
Name a more iconic duo.
Totally not like him. Yeah. John Elway and bad decisions. Yeah. He looked out on Peyton Manning and he got Kubiak. Other than that, he's done literally nothing as the Broncos GM. Yeah.
Gunther for the most part, good play calling.
For the most part, they played. I don't. Something bothered me when they were playing zone when they got closer to the goal line and shit. Like man was working. I think even the fucking commentators are talking about it. Like when we were man to man, pretty solid. But when we started in the third quarter, when we started going zone and shit, we were playing zone and they were starting to carve us up there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the loss of Conley and having to shuffle your defensive backs around a little bit.
That's probably they're trying to compensate. Probably
they might have been more prepared for a man-based game plan with Conley on the field.
Probably
Conley may have been also like tethered to a certain wide receiver when it comes to that. So then when you take the number one guy out of there and you don't feel like don't feel like putting Trayvon Mullen in that situation, you start tweaking things a little bit. Yeah. Might have been a bad adjustment.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
But for the most part, Gunther's game plan to me looked good, and we're just still slightly short when it comes to talent on that side of the ball.
I agree.
And I was gonna say, finish up the episode real quick. We gotta mention the Chiefs game a little bit.
Yeah.
How we feel about that.
Well,
talk about our feelings.
I still think we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get. It's not gonna be a close game. We're gonna win, obviously.
Didn't you?
No, I'm just kidding.
You thought the Broncos were gonna beat us last week, right?
I did.
I did
have no hope.
I told you so, motherfucker. Told you so. I love it.
God. I don't know what to say anymore.
All right, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown as to why the Kansas City Chiefs are gonna lose next Sunday.
Oh boy, I cannot. Okay, listen. I'll give you the Broncos. I'll give you Darren Waller. What else do you need? But like the Chiefs, I can't give you that. I'm not going to go down with you on this road. This is insanity. We are not as talented as the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Listen, I fucking hate the Chiefs. I want the entire city of Kansas City to basically like an earthquake to happen and for the city just to be swallowed up inside of the earth. But I'm realistic at the same time. We're not as good as the Chiefs right now.
Are you done being a bitch?
Oh my god.
Are you done?
You're such a fucking douche.
Are you done?
Fine, whatever. What is your point? What is your fucking game-changing, mind-changing narrative that you're about to drop on me?
Okay. This is the AFC West, all right?
Oh, is it?
Throw out all of your preconceived notions about who's the better team or this and that. The Raiders have been 4-win teams in the past, sitting there knocking the division leader out, down a slot in the playoff seedings, or knocking them out of the playoffs entirely in the case of a wild card or something like that. The Kansas City Chiefs.
We're not going to be able to put 45 points.
The Kansas City Chiefs, all right?
Chiefs.
All right? The reason why a divisional rival game is more of a toss-up than any other game is because you are specifically built to beat the teams in your division. No other team in the league is built to beat the Chiefs better than us and the Chargers, probably. The Broncos are shit. But
it's true.
What would you say, game plan-wise, in the Broncos was one of the most glaringly apparent strength about our team?
Well, you took
in
away
the very first drive of the game.
Well, you took away their only threat, Miller and Chubb. They were neutralized the entire game, so we could have our way with them. And I feel like Gruden again. I think Gruden outcoached Fangio from an offensive perspective to defensive.
I'm not gonna say we're not gonna outcoach Andy Reid.
No.
But what I'm trying to say, the point I was trying to make is time of possession. All right.
Well, that second drive was great because it took up the half of the second quarter, I think, and that was amazing.
We dominated time of possession until we started playing prevent.
Yeah, agreed.
All right?
Yeah, agreed.
The best defense against the Kansas City Chiefs is a good run game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we're gonna have gonna have one of the best run games in the league. Josh Jacobs is gonna be why we even have a chance next week.
Well, they don't have any Tyreek Hill. I just want to throw that out there too.
They have no Tyreek Hill. They have no Kareem Hunt. All right, they lost their two biggest offensive players. All right, the Steelers did that too. All right, and they thought that they were okay, But
but the
they're
Chiefs
not.
won against a talented Jaguars defense last week.
Okay, but the Chiefs also made Garden Minshew a fucking household name.
Well, dude, I mean they're still weak on defense, and so do we feel confident for our line? I'm assuming it's going to be the same iteration of that line, beating Frank Clark, beating that pass rush. I don't even know who do they have besides Frank Clark that's like a bona fide pass rusher.
I think they got. Did they get like Rashawn Mathis or some other
Tyrann Mathieu, but he's a safety.
No. Tyrann Matthews. I was talking about Mathis, the old Colts defensive end. Unless he retired.
Robert Mathis.
I don't know. They got some old fucking guy. I don't give a shit.
I know Frank Clark.
I don't give a shit. We'll pancake his ass. My point is that we built a team to match up with the Chiefs. I mean, I don't think that LaMarcus Joyner was gonna do it, but Gruden signed LaMarcus Joyner to cover Tyreek Hill in the slot.
I was not impressed with Joyner last night.
I wasn't either. And I don't think that you're going to necessarily just sign a guy to cover Tyreek Hill. But best nickel corner in the league, he signed him because he needed to find a solution for Tyreek Hill. Up and down the roster, we are built to beat the Chiefs. Do I think that we're necessarily a more talented team? Absolutely not, dude. But the most talented team doesn't win every week. This is why I try to.
I'm just trying to be. Listen, I'm just trying to be realistic because I don't want to be disappointed. All right.
Like I could be fucking realistic too. There's a difference between sitting there and saying, "Oh, we're gonna blow out the Chiefs," or "We have a chance." And this is what I was trying to tell you last week against the Broncos.
Dude,
we lost Antonio Brown, so we're talentless. We're not gonna win against the Broncos.
That's not what I was. That was not my perspective.
I talked you down from a ledge. From a ledge, you were gonna hang yourself before we actually played.
No, I thought. Listen, I thought we were. There's a bunch of wild cards in this team. We don't know who they are. All right. So,
now we know.
Well, last night.
Now we got an idea.
Yeah. Now I have an idea. Right. Tyrell Williams. He can be a number one. Darren Waller can be a great tight end. Josh Jacobs, I felt super confident in him.
Okay, so they have no one on defense who's going to cover our guys. Let's just put this out there. Right? They made the fucking Jacksonville Garden Minshew sitting there looking like Nick Foles with a better mustache.
Well,
right?
we all knew going into this though the Chiefs don't have a real defense. It's their offense that if the Chiefs defense gives up 30 points a game, they still have a chance to win. Okay. It's their offense you got to be scared about.
Okay, so
when you felt comfortable with our secondary going into that against that Chiefs offense.
I don't need the secondary to fucking stop Patrick Mahomes in order for us to win the game. Patrick Mahomes can get his and we still win.
You think we're going to score 40 points next week?
Yeah, we could.
I disagree.
Absolutely fucking
I think they're going to beat us by at
points.
least 2 touchdowns, and we're going to be disappointed.
I'm not saying it can't happen. What I'm saying is that you are purposefully tempering your expectations because I'm the more realistic one of the two of us.
Oh, I disagree.
Yes, you are.
No, you're drinking the Kool-Aid right now.
You're tempering your expectations because you don't want to be hurt.
Okay,
but if we look at it objectively, we can fucking beat the Chiefs.
I don't think so. I think they'll sweep us this season.
The Chiefs are one of the best teams in the league.
I hope that I'm wrong, and I can't wait for that.
You're gonna be wrong.
I cannot wait for that.
You're
I told you so
wrong.
next week. If we start 2-0, believe me, I'll be the happiest person on the planet.
If there's an "I told you so" next week, it's gonna be said with my balls on your chin. All right? That's how that's gonna happen.
I would totally take your balls on my chin if that were the case.
Can I get a sound clip of that? You'll totally take my balls on your chin.
I will edit that.
I just want to play that over and over and over again.
But this Broncos team was not great. We can agree on that. We beat a team that was not great. Probably bottom 5, 6, 7 teams in the league.
I agree.
Okay, so
we
did not beat them convincingly. Listen, we
beat them convincingly.
I don't think so. We can be happy of all the pieces that we have.
You read too many box scores, dude.
No, I think we can be happy with the pieces we have, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're still not ready to compete for a playoff spot yet. And I think
we're not. I agree with you.
So beating the Chiefs, though, is like that. If we beat the Chiefs next week, we're a really good team. And I don't think we're there yet.
Not necessarily. You can just win any given week.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Look at where we can match up against them.
Temper those expectations.
I am tempering my expectations.
You're saying we can beat the Chiefs.
I'm not putting money on the game. I'm a fucking Raider fan. I'm not gonna sit here and think about all the ways we're gonna lose for 7 days.
I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm not saying I want to lose or anything like that. I'm just saying like I'm expecting a loss.
Hot take. You're a Chiefs fan.
Fuck you. God damn. I'd rather
You just want to suck Patrick Mahomes' Kermit
His green
froggy
dick.
little dick. Yep.
I don't want to touch that weird fucking little dick.
Listen.
I'd rather a larger cock, like Mike Mayock's or Derek Carr's.
You know all their sizes.
Absolutely, dude. I went and measured when they were sleeping. So.
That Raidio does the research that you don't want to do.
Exactly. Right. Doing this for the podcast. Right. Some crying a little bit.
Listen, all I'm trying to say, by the end of the year, I want to get you away from this mindset of NFL power ranking headline news bite media that's just going to say because the Chiefs are the better team, they're going to win. That's absolutely not the fuck. We're not getting the best version of the Chiefs team. Patrick Mahomes has a gimpy ankle. You're not getting Tyreek Hill. You're not getting Kareem Hunt. All right? Their offensive line's still unproven. Their defense is still consistently bad. The best thing that they have going for them is Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and one of the best coaches in the league. So does that mean it's still going to be a difficult game? Is it still going to be a hard game? Yes, absolutely. But if Derek Carr is the Derek Carr of 2016, I don't give a fuck who you line up in front of me. We have a chance. We're going to compete. We're going to go out there, and we're going to fucking make them earn that W. You're acting like we're going to roll over.
First of all, I want to tell you, I told you so about Derek Carr. First, that's my I told you so. Second of all, fuck you.
I need something to tell you that.
Second of all, fuck you.
Right,
you talk so long. I forget all my fucking points.
Good,
because you can't shut the fuck up.
Good.
Well, no, I do not think we're gonna win. We're not a better team than the Chiefs right now. I don't think you could come away from last night's game feeling any better because it's like we went out there and it was, again, punch in teeth to all the people who doubt us. We don't fucking need AB, but we're still a team on the rise. We're still developing. We're not there yet. We're like a year or two away. We're not ready for this Chiefs game, and I believe me, I want us to win more than anyone else.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. And I think we'll give them a good fight, but I don't think we're there yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I had two other points that I forgot about because you talked so long.
Well, that's good because no one wants to hear those points. They're all bad points.
Maybe my mom listens to this podcast and she might want to hear. So
all right. Well, we'll set the microphone up in the corner. You can record them and you can send them to her direct. That way she can listen to them ad nauseum.
It's just another Tuesday night.
All I have to say is, before the Broncos game, I felt we had a chance against the Chiefs, and you know that. I fucking told you that. So I'm just being consistent. I'm not letting the win fucking change my opinion any way whatsoever.
Okay.
I said from the get-go, one of the key games this year was week 2 against the Chiefs. We have to split with the Chiefs this year. We can't let them sweep us.
I agree.
And this is our best chance to get one off of the Chiefs. Well, I'm seeing the stars align for this. I'm seeing us finally find an opportunity to win against the Chiefs and use that as a stepping stone.
It's the home game too, so we need this.
It's the home game. This has to be our stepping stone to a different level of confidence and expectations and development for this team. And I see no reason why we can't go out there and at least say we belong on the same field as these guys. I mean, this is our division rival, and we shouldn't just be an easy written in pen W for them every year. Yeah, I think that's finally going to change.
I hope so. I mean, I part of me wishes that wasn't enough. You know, like we need to win, but
we will. Don't worry, baby.
Okay.
Then we'll be back here next week.
Well, when you say it like that,
we'll be here next week.
And the next episode will just be like just the sound of like your balls and my chin.
Yeah.
Just be that.
Yeah. Just like raising and dropping.
Yeah, the ambient sound of just that. It's just 40 minutes of that. Yeah. Hey, I would be the happiest person if that was the next episode.
Right. Hour and 8 minutes in, we should call it quits. Eh?
All right. Well, you're beautiful, Raider Nation. Don't let anyone tell you any differently. Your body's the right size. I'm starting to sound like a Joe Rogan podcast. All right.
I hate you so much. All right, let's call it quits.
All right.